What's up, everybody? It's me, Crosspatch. Welcome back to my Madden 21 Pittsburgh Steelers franchise. In this video, we're just going to take a short look at the 2021 NFL season in my franchise, how things went down. We're going to look at the playoff picture, some awards that are going to be handed out, some records that were set, stats for my players, and we'll go through the roster and take a look at the players themselves, see what they achieved throughout the season. And finally, we're going to talk about free agency coming up in the offseason here and some of our familiar faces and favorite teammates that we may not be able to hang on to. So let's get started. We take a look at the playoffs here. You can see I simmed past the first round here. We did finish the season 15-1. We got the first round bye locked up like 3 games before the end of the season. And looks like we're facing Cleveland again in the playoffs. These guys are thorns on our side all last year, and looks like we're going to have to get past them once more to get to the AFC Championship or get to the Super Bowl. And if we do get past them, it looks like we're facing the Raiders or the Chiefs. And we beat all 3 of these teams throughout the season, some more easily than others. Our battle with the Chiefs was kind of epic, so it would be kind of cool to see them again in the AFC Championship. But we'll see how things hash out. And on the NFC side, it looks like Dallas had the first round bye. So it's going to be the Cowboys, the Panthers, the Saints, or the Seahawks in the Super Bowl on their side. And we played the Saints last season, kind of blew them out in the Super Bowl. I don't know if I want to see them again, but it'd be kind of cool to play the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. That was a big rivalry going back to the 70s. 2 Super Bowls in the 70s, the Steelers and Cowboys played. 1 in the 90s. So, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. But we'll see how it happens. We'll see how it works out. And, 1 game at a time. We got to get past these Browns first. We'll take a look at some of the awards that were handed out this season. And we did pretty well. We did okay last year, but this season we did pretty well. Roethlisberger got the league MVP. We're going to look at his stats in a minute here. He had a really good season, partially due to me just kind of getting the hang of the game finally. I talked about in the past how this franchise is my first franchise in like 10 years, and I was pretty rusty when I got back into it, but yeah, I feel like I'm getting the hang of it a little bit, and Roethlisberger is definitely benefiting from that. Schuster came in 5th there. Cam Newton, number 2. Zeke Elliott, 3rd. Mahomes, 4th. And Coach of the Year, Mike Tomlin, 15-1. You can kind of see why. On the AFC side, strangely, even though Roethlisberger was NFL MVP, he is not the Offensive Player of the Year. Juju Smith-Schuster is. And he set 3, actually, pretty major records here that we'll talk about in a little bit. But Roethlisberger was 2nd. And Defensive Player of the Year, Devon Bush came in 3rd on that. He had an okay season, I suppose. Offensive Rookie of the Year, we didn't have anybody. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Darren Isaac, our rookie cornerback. Kind of had an up and down season. But yeah, I guess he played well enough for mention here. So that's cool. Best quarterback was Roethlisberger. Best running back, James Conner took 2nd behind Josh Jacobs. Best wide receiver, Smith-Schuster. I don't know if we had another. Nope, he's the only Steeler there. Best offensive lineman, David DeCastro. Pouncey got 4th in that. Best defensive lineman, we don't have anybody mentioned. Best linebacker, Devon Bush. Best defensive back, we didn't have anybody mentioned. Micah Fitzpatrick won that last season, but he had a pretty quiet year. He had kind of an off year. I think he only had 2 interceptions all season, but hopefully he comes storming back next year. He's a good player. Best kicker, Boswell, and yeah, so that's about it. So we did pretty good on the awards this year. Unlike last year, I think we only had maybe 3 players who came away with awards, 3 or 4. And we'll take a look at our stats for the season. Roethlisberger threw for 4,657 yards, 52 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He sat out the final game of the season. We probably could have taken a shot at Peyton Manning's 55 touchdowns in a season record, but I didn't want to get him hurt, so we're pretty happy with this. I think that puts him second all time. James Conner had another 1,000-yard season, 15 touchdowns. Snell and McFarland both contributed there. A little more going to Snell than I was last season. But, they both played their part. The passing game was working so well at different points. The run was kind of just to kill the game in a lot of cases, kill the clock. Juju Smith-Schuster had a crazy season. 144 receptions puts him second all-time for a season. 2,544 yards. That's a record. 34 touchdowns. That's not only a record for receiving touchdowns, but for total touchdowns in a season. And, Johnson and Claypool had okay seasons. I'm going to say for the second year in a row that I really need to spread the ball around a little more. I've got one receiver catching 144 balls and 3 receivers catching 65. So, I don't know. We'll work on that next year, I guess. Blocking, what can we really say about that? Keller at the right tackle gave up some sacks. And otherwise not too bad. Dotson was playing, even though he's listed as a guard there, was playing left tackle for most of the season. Defensively, let's see. Devon Bush was our leader in total tackles. Terrell Edmonds second. Bush, I believe, also. Well, T.J. Watt led the team in sacks with 12.5. Bush with 12. Hayward 8. 2 at 6. Second-year player Highsmith had 3.5. He was okay. And Ulysses Gilbert, who is most likely going to be a starter next season, with 3. And turnovers is kind of where we had a bit of a rough season. We didn't have a lot of interceptions. Edmonds had 3, Nelson 2, Fitzpatrick 2, and just a few here and there otherwise. Boswell was almost perfect on the season, 8 for 8 field goals, 73 out of 74 extra points. And our punter punted 3 times all season. I am going to find a way around having to have a punter on my roster. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to find a way. Because I don't like paying $1.5 million a season for a dude that only comes out 3 times a season. And part of that is because, we convert a lot of third downs. But part of that, too, is that, if I'm in a 4th and 1 situation on the other side of the 50, I almost always go for it. And with Connor, we usually get it. So I don't have, my kicker can punt. Boswell can punt. There's no reason he can't. Anybody can punt. McFarland, kick returner, second straight season I was hoping to break a kick for a touchdown, kick return for a touchdown. It didn't happen. Same with our punt returner, Deontay Johnson was sort of taking that role all season. It is what it is. 5 yards per return, not super great. So that's about it with stats. We had a heck of a year in a lot of ways. And you can take a look at the records for single season here. Single season passing yards, we didn't have any, but passing touchdown, you can see Roethlisberger has 52, behind Manning's 55. Receiving yards, Smith-Schuster just blew away the record, 1964. He's up at 25-44. And receiving touchdowns, 34, beats Randy Moss's 23. Now, could I have pushed again, to get Juju Smith-Schuster that receptions in a season record? Maybe. But, there's no point to it. He still caught 8 passes in the last game, even though I was trying to minimize his role. So, it is what it is, And like I said, we're going to try to spread the ball around a little bit more next season. I say again. So we'll take a look at our our players here. Roethlisberger, 75 overall, 77 with the morale boost. You know, he regressed a lot, but he was effective. A lot of his accuracy numbers in the 80s, a little bit lower than they were last season, but I don't know what he's going to do. I'm going to assume he's probably retiring, but we'll see what happens. His contract is up. He's going to be 40 years old. Kind of betting he's going to retire, but if he doesn't, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to help myself from re-signing him, because I'm not letting Roethlisberger retire in different colors other than black and gold. Like, it's just not going to happen. So if I have to re-sign him, I will. I kind of hope he retires, but we'll see what happens. Rudolph's going to be a free agent. We'll be saying goodbye to him next year. If he was a little younger, I would have been trying to sort of groom him to replace Roethlisberger, but at 26, I think I'm going to draft. I took Dylan James this year's draft. He's not great, 53 overall, even with the morale. But he played the last game of the season. He started, and he didn't play badly. I mean, if you want to check that game out, I was very careful with him, very cautious with the throws. Didn't call a lot of complex plays. But, you know, he did okay. Like, if I have to use him next season, I will. But again, we're going to draft a quarterback in the first round. And it's going to be that guy and James probably next season. Unless Roethlisberger comes back. We'll see. Connor, up to 92 overall. He's a superstar. And, you know, he's our go-to guy. 26 years old. Signed him to a 5-year deal last season, so we're going to be keeping him till he's around 30, I suppose. And we'll see what we do with him after that. But I'm pretty confident that he's going to be the guy for the next few seasons. Benny Snell's a good backup. McFarland is my third down back. He played well. And you know, both of these guys are around 80 with the morale. Snell's up to 80. McFarland's at 77. And Jalen Samuels, once again, not sure what to do with him. But I'm not sure his contract may be up this season as well. Derek Watt, you know, good blocker. Not much to say there. Didn't really carry the ball or catch any passes, but I run out of the eye a lot. Glad to have him. And our receivers had a lot. You know, I already went over sort of what's going on with Smith-Schuster. He is a 98 overall at this point, 99 with the morale. Deontay Johnson's a superstar now. He had his breakout scenario throughout the season, so he's up to an 85 overall with superstar abilities. And again, I got to get him the ball more. I mean, he's a very good player. He just needs the ball more. And same with Claypool. I feel like I've not developed him as much as I should have. I would like to get him up to superstar next season. You know, and then the other part of me kind of thinks, why would I want to do that? Because he's just going to cost me more to re-sign him if he's a superstar. So, you know, we'll take it as it comes, I guess. And Washington is probably not going to be with us next season. I don't have a lot of role for a fourth wide receiver in my offense. I've really only got one formation that puts 4 wide receivers on the field. So, you know, he's very underutilized on this team. He's a good player. I'm going to let him go on his way and hopefully have a good career somewhere else. I hate to do it, but, you know, it's not really fair to keep an 81 overall player, 80 overall, I guess, on this team if he's not going to be getting any reps and not going to be getting any passes. So he'll be going on his way. Eric Ebram again, again had a good season. He's sort of my outlet in passing situations. You know, when my number one option isn't open, I check it down to him. But he is going to be a free agent next season. 28 years old, probably not going to re-sign him. And we're going to be drafting a tight end. So, you know, probably second or third round, I'll be taking a tight end next draft. Mcphee, he's listed as tackle here. He actually played guard most of the season. He's going to be a good one. He was one of my early draft picks last season. And yeah, I'm pretty happy to have him. He came along nice. Some of these other backups, maybe a little bit of promise with them. And Dotson played left tackle. I'm going to have to draft some more linemen. Dotson is all right, but I don't think he's the solution at left tackle for me. I'm going to be drafting. And I got a couple of problems here on the offensive line. Pouncey and DeCastro. Both of their contracts are up. So, if I can swing it, like money-wise, I would really like to keep both of them. Again, I want these guys to retire as Steelers. But we'll see. I mean, I hope I can do that. And at right tackle, we have a rookie here, John Keller. He had a pretty good season. He did give up some sacks, but, you know, he progressed pretty well throughout the season. And only 22 years old. I think he's going to be a good one. And our defense, pass rush-wise, not bad. We didn't have a lot of turnovers this season. Tuitt had a bunch of sacks. He had a good season. He's getting older. He's 28. Same with Hayward. You know, he's 94 overall with the morale. You know, these guys are getting older. And this is David Wiggins, my first-round draft pick at nose tackle. He had a good season, I think. Will progress. He's a star, I believe. Oh, no, he's hidden still. So he's got some reps to play till we see what he's going to be. T.J. Watt, what did I say? He had 12 and a half sacks. So he's had a good season. He's, you know, obviously a superstar X Factor. Up to 85 speed. And, yeah, I re-signed him this last season to a 7-year contract, so he's going to be around for a while. Ford is a rookie who played kind of decently in different setups. Devon Bush, you know, my user guy. Wish I could do a little bit better with him. I'd like to get him up to a superstar. Vince Williams is going to be going his way next season. He is going to be a free agent. We're not going to re-sign him, I don't think. We're going to have Ulysses Gilbert here. Is going to step in at the other inside linebacker spot as a regular starter. He played in the nickel formation a lot this season. He's going to be our regular starter. And Highsmith played... he played all right. I feel like we definitely lost something without Bud Dupree. We definitely lost that other force on the opposite side of the ball from T.J. Watt a little bit. So I don't know if he's the answer at outside linebacker. But he played okay. He played well enough this season. Corners, Mike Hilton, Steven Nelson. As I've said from the beginning of this franchise, they're just too slow. They're good corners. They play all right, but they get beat a lot, especially when we're playing faster receivers. Isaac is a faster guy, 92 speed. He's a rookie who started a lot this season, and he played okay. I mean, he's going to be a starter next season, I think. Steven Nelson is going to be a free agent. 28 years old. I'm going to have to think about that one. I don't know if we're going to re-sign him. Kind of depends on how the money goes with some of these guys, you know. And same with Justin Lane. I don't think he's a free agent, but, you know, he's a little bit underdeveloped in our franchise. At free safety, Fitzpatrick, again, had kind of an off year. He's up to, what is he? He's at 91, 92 overall. Superstar. Only 2 interceptions all season. We need more out of him. And maybe that was a little bit because we had a rookie in the secondary who was getting beat a little bit, and, you know, they were kind of picking on him. But, yeah, I mean, hopefully next season will be better. And strong safety, Terrell Edmonds. You know, I think I mentioned before, maybe it was last game, Isaac is a good hitter. He's a good tackler. He plays run support really well. Thinking about making him a safety. So that would mean, you know, we've got Terrell Edmonds for one more season. And we'll see how next season goes with that. And I also have Quentin Matthews here, who's a rookie with some good speed, who may turn out to be something decent for us. And so that's basically the roster. You know, you can see we're going to have a lot of guys. Boswell is going to probably be gone next year. I don't know if I'm going to resign him to this kind of, you know, the $3 million. I don't think so. And the punter, I already kind of went over that. Just $1.75 million for a punter who rarely comes on the field. So I'm going to see what I can do to kind of deal with that. Yeah, so we're off into the playoffs, and that'll be the next game. But that's how the season worked out. Hope you've enjoyed it if you've been watching it. Take a second to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss these games. And maybe hit the like button there. And you can see we're up to 87 overall, 87 offense, 87 defense. And this team is going to get better, you know, as we draft. That's kind of how I build my teams, through the draft. And so the next few seasons, these numbers are going to be going up, these 87s. So that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the video. And I will see you in the playoffs.